Hello everyone. So in this part of the video, we're gonna look how are we able to route dynamically. So basically, what does dynamic routing means is that must be going to a particular page. Let's say in this case, I must be going to a particular page called book, but then in that case, I must be also be showing the first book like this, and as well as let's say if I have one or more to let's say if I have one more book, let's say if this is book 1 here and this is book 2 here, and then when I click on book 1, I like to have the URL to be book1/1, and when I go to book 2, I like to have this URL to be book/2. So what I want to do here is that, let's say if I were to click on book 1, I would like to see the content of book 1 only, and when I click on book 2 right here, I would like to only see the content of book 2 only. But we need to reuse, at the same time we need to reuse the same book page here, and only thing is that we're going to have a different content, because those content are dynamic. It's just directly coming from database. So that's the basic idea. How we need to see how are we able to pass basically this is ID, by the way. This is ID of the book. Number 1, number 2 is ID. So we're going to pass this ID to a particular to this page just by having multiple link here. So in order to do that, we need to make sure that our path, which is book here, should be receiving a dynamic ID as a URL. For example, let's say if I go to here, I need to make sure, let me just open the local the browser like this, and so if I go to book here, so I must be going to a book page followed by 1. So this, what does this means is that I must only see book that is with an ID of 1, and if I click 1, as you can see, there's nothing here because that's not how it's being stored. It's just book/book, and I would like to have this particular book to receive number 1 as an ID, so that you can actually make use of number 1 and can actually match the ID number 1 with in your database. So how are we able to do that? So we need to make sure that this URL should be receiving a dynamic ID like this. So in this case, let's go to our route and path. We need to make sure, put a slash here, and we need to follow it by sorry, it's not a semi, it's just a colon followed by anything. For example, in this case, I'm just going to say ID. So ID is just a simple just some random word I just put, can be anything, but in this case I would like to place ID right after the book. So what does this means is that whatever that can be anything that comes right after book or slash, whatever comes after this should be the ID of a book or a particular element. So let's go and hit save, and let's go to our blog page here, and currently let me just close all of this. Basically, let's go to our root page here, and this is our root page. So let's say if I am in home. Currently I am in home, and if I would like to go, let's click on here, let's go and slash book, and as you can see, there's nothing has appeared, because the reason is because you have not made to show that book. Just by having book/book, you should show anything, because yeah, you have not stated here anywhere. It's just either book by ID slash something after slash, or nothing. You shouldn't show anything else. So let's say if I go and add a slash button like this, slash here, and then I add any random text, not just number 1 like this, but anything. And the reason is that you are able to see this is book page, because the reason is because there is an element called book that we have already stored like this. Okay, so that's the basic idea of how are we able to route between, just by having this ID here. And let's say if I were to go to this button here, let's make use of this button instead. So currently I am at slash some random text here like this. So let's say if I click on book 1, so as you can see here, it has changed the URL to /1, and I click, and then you can still see the book page, because it is true that anything that comes, as long as you place your URL, you place something right after the slash, it is still a valid URL. That's why it's showing this book page. And if I click on book 2, and you can see number 2 is here, and then this is still a valid URL. So let me just close this, and let's see if I leave blank here, and there you go, nothing, because this is not a valid URL. There needs to be something that comes right after the slash. It can be anything, and that's the reason why it's called dynamic. So thank you. That's the end of this particular part of the video. Hope you guys are able to understand dynamic routing. And the next episode, I'll be teaching you guys on how to make use of the ID like this, number 1 here, number 2 here, and we're gonna make it. We're gonna store it as parameter, and then using that parameter, we're gonna show the dynamic content of a book of a particular element. For example, book 1 should show book 1's content inside book page. And let's say if I click on book 2, I must only see book 2 page with only the content that comes from book 2. So that's what we'll be focusing on next. So thank you guys for watching. Let's meet in the next video.